Shalom, shalom, shalom. Once again, it's your apostle, Dialph Bakar, represent FTL Fatherland Camp. Hopefully I got an edifying lesson for you guys before we get started. I want to give all praises to the Most High, Kahalamya, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah Kwadash. And double honors go to the elders of Great Millstone and teach them real well and taught this 144% truth, as well as the apostles on down, man. Shalom, Rabahab, to you sincere brothers and sisters out there. Barak call Akim, Barak call Akwath. Bless you, brothers. Bless you, sisters, man. All right, so this is another World War III, end of this world, end of Esau, Watchman update. I'm just gonna hit play, and then I'm gonna go through some key important scriptures related to prophecy that everybody should have locked in. Excuse me for 1 second. Salakia. Everybody's got to understand these precepts I'm gonna get into. I'm gonna flow right through them. You know, like Elder Tahar say, I'm a mumble through these. I'm a mumble through these. But yeah, I'm a flow through these real quickly. So pause as you need to. You know, me personally, before we get this going, you know, when I do my studying, I write my precepts where they need to be, because you know, when shit hits the fan, man, you ain't gonna be able to carry too many things on you, but you'll definitely have your sword on you, right? So, you know, log your precepts in the scriptures. All right. So then when you're at that particular chapter or verse, you'll have that set of precepts that you need. You won't have to jump to the other book, man. All right. And I might do a video, Abaratazah, the Spirit's Army, and I remember. I might just do a super quick hit and show you what I mean. I might just double back real quick and do that video right after this Abaratazah if I remember. So we're gonna get into this important World War III news. That's your ass, Mr. Postman. It's time to pay up, man. Abad Babal, man. Abad Babal. All right, down with Babylon, man.
Talking about safeguarding interests, Poland too is looking out for itself. Warsaw fears that the war in Ukraine could spill over. A Russian mouthpiece has issued a threat. It says Poland is the next target for Russian troops. Now, Poland, we know, shares a border with Ukraine. It is also a member of NATO. But the Polish government is taking no chances. They want to strengthen their defenses. They've announced a plan to buy more weapons. The Polish deputy prime minister has made a vow. He says he would prefer to be in debt rather than in Russian occupation. Here's a report.
Poland is sending a message to Russia. Polish Deputy Prime Minister Jarosław Kaczynski has taken a vow. He says Poland would rather remain in debt than under occupation. Just like some of its neighbors, Poland feels threatened by Russia, so it wants to spend big on its military. Earlier this week, Warsaw declared its plans. Poland has around 150,000 soldiers in its military force. It now plans to double those numbers. Polish soldiers will also be given new and state-of-the-art equipment, like 500 multiple rocket launchers, anti-ballistic missile systems, minesweepers, and multi-role helicopters. Russia's invasion of Ukraine changed everything for Poland. It shares a 529-kilometer border with Ukraine. Warsaw fears the conflict could easily spill over into Polish territory. This month, Poland received a chilling threat. It came in the form of a broadcast on a pro-Kremlin news outlet in Russia. The Russian anchor suggested Poland should be Moscow's next target.
Perhaps it's time to acknowledge that maybe Russia's special operation in Ukraine has come to an end. In a sense, a real war had started, World War III. We are forced to conduct the demilitarization not only of Ukraine, but of the entire NATO alliance.
So far, these threats have proved to be counterproductive for Moscow. Poland has been getting help from its NATO ally, the United States. America is strengthening Poland's defenses. After the crisis in Ukraine began, the US sent thousands of soldiers to Poland. By February, roughly 9,000 American troops were already stationed there. In the same month, Washington cleared a major defense deal. Poland will buy $6 billion worth of American weapons. This includes tanks, machine guns, and other military equipment. The crisis in Ukraine has raised Poland's profile in the region too. After the war began, Warsaw welcomed over 3 million Ukrainian refugees. Poland also helped India evacuate Indian students from Ukraine. Warsaw has also provided vital support to Kyiv. By April, Poland has provided Ukraine with over $1 billion worth of arms and ammunition. This includes lethal weapons like tanks, howitzers, and rocket launchers. Poland is effectively now a linchpin for NATO in the war against Russia. It is a vital part of Western plans to defend Ukraine and deter future Russian aggression. Poland has an important role to play on both fronts, but these responsibilities don't come without their risks. Warsaw has few options to mitigate those threats. It needs to arm itself and develop real deterrence to the Russian threats.
WeOn is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the...
It's a wrap, man. This is a huge move in prophecy. As you know, the next stage, the next fight of World War III is about to engage. All right. And these superpowers are about to really get it popping. The first round was with Russia, Ukraine. Ukraine's getting decimated, man. They're losing about 1,000 soldiers a day at least, man. And Biden and Mystery Babylon has just pledged them another $1 billion, all while, you know, Mystery Babylon is crumbling, and Mystery Babylon's beast system media refuses to address and acknowledge, you know, all of these food storage facilities and companies that are engulfing in flames. They're not even addressing domestic terrorism at a huge magnitude in their own nation, but they're worried about how other people are fighting in a war. That just shows you that, you know, this is a snake eating its own tail. All right, and all praise to Yahweh B'Hashem Yahweh Shai. All right, call Halam Yahweh B'Hashem Yahweh Shai B'Hashem Rakakwadash, man, for this destruction and these wars, destroying these damn devils, man, and these nations and these heathens, man. And why is this a good thing? Well, before I get to Daniel 2, I guess this is evidence how the Spirit takes over. Why it's important to understand precept, brothers, for your lessons. Study before you do your lessons too, man. That makes your lessons stronger. You know? All right, so Psalms 83. All right. Keep not thou silence, O Yahweh, why Yahweh Shai. Hold not thy peace, and be not silent, O Yahweh, why Yahweh Shai. Why, man? Because we've been going through hell, man. By way of all the world. All these wicked nations and tribes, man, of the heathen. With Esau at the top. For lo, look, all right, for lo, thine enemies make a tumult. Yahweh, Yahweh Shai, and the Hebrew Israelites have a common enemy, and it's this whole entire world, man, including the 2/3. But this is about the heathen. But you know, the 2/3, they love cooning out, don't they? For lo, thine enemy make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They've come into power. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people. These people have taken crafty counsel against the people of Yahweh, Yahweh Shai, man. All right. So in modern day, you would say that would be the United Nations. All right. Who stepped up to help us? Who stepped up to acknowledge who we are historically and to decimate the lie of the wicked tribe of Amalek that say they are the Jews and are not, but are the synagogue of Satan, man? Them damn rat-faced devils, man. Nobody. That's who. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against thy hidden ones. The Hebrew Israelite, Yasharallah, the northern and the southern tribes, we're the hidden ones, man, because they hid our nationality from us, man. In a series of captivities, rape, robbing, pillaging, plundering, and destroying us, changing our names, changing maps, and everything else, and the miseducation. And I ain't talking about no damn witch named Lauryn Hill, man. They have come, Salakia, they have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation. That's what happened to us, man. And by the power of Yahweh Shai, man, by Hashem Akakwadash, man, pursuing of Daniel, Salakia, pursuing of Ezekiel 37, all right, pursuing of Revelations chapter 11, pursuing of Malachi chapter 4, we're standing back in our lot. They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Yasharallah, Israel, may be no more in remembrance. For they have consulted together with one consent, man. There's been a one world order, man. It's been a one world order, man. They are confederate against thee. I mean, you could just think about the Civil War, man. You know, I have evidence and proof of two of my primary forefathers. One died in the Civil War at 17. The other one survived. They later on try to erase his name off the records, where I go look at the Civil War records. And those are my two direct forefathers, and my last name for my family is not like Jackson or Brown or Williams, where my name gets lost in the fray, man. It's a very unique name, man. All right. And they made my forefathers, and who knows, I could have been one of them. I could have been the survivor. His name was Matthew. They fought in the Civil War, man. And they had to fight in the Civil War for their freedom. For they have consulted together with their consent, they are confederate against us. So we know that confederacy, that's led up by that damn devil the Bible speaks of, the fucking Edomite, man. And as it shows right here, man, the tabernacles of Edom, all the tribes, all these nations have tribes, man, just like we have tribes. The tabernacles of Edom, the self-proclaimed white man, and he's not white, he's not pure. He's an alabaster, eggshell, hot pink piece of shit. He's a leprous fuck. The tabernacles of Edom and the Ishmaelites, the Arabs, man, the traders of Moab, man, the chinky chongy noodlehead niggas, man, them Chinese people, man, and the Hagarenes, man, like Hagar. Okay, see that name, Hagar? The Hagarenes, man, the Africans, the Hamites. And I'll just cut that right there, man. So now I'm going to Daniel 2. And I'm dealing with verse 26. All right, this is important. This is prophecy. This is prophecy. All right, we the best. Prophecy. All right, Daniel 2 and 26. The king answered and said to Daniel, whose name was Belshazzar, art thou able to make known unto me the dream which I have seen and the interpretation thereof? You know, he wants the answers to these visions. It's got him perplexed, man. Daniel answered in the presence of the king and said, the secret which the king have demanded cannot the wise men and the astrologers and the magicians and the soothsayers show unto the king. And today, man, we have that right now. Nothing new under the sun, man. All right, like Ecclesiastes 1 verse 9. Nothing new under the sun, man. You know, we got people all in this astrology bullshit, right? We got all these magicians like David Blaine, right? You got these soothsayers like TD Snakes, TD Stakes, Ho Olstein, and Hell No Dollar, Creflo Dollar, right? Can they interpret things? Hell no. And it was around back in those days. But there is a power in heaven That word power, that word God, it means power. Allah Hayam. Yahweh, Yahweh Shai, and then the Malakiyam, man, the angels, man. But there is a power in heaven that revealeth secrets, right? And, I'm going to get right back to that, but this is a good chance to get this precept for you guys so you can log that in. So I'm going to go to Amos 3:7. I'm coming right back to that. Get out of here. Amos 3:7. Surely our power, Yahweh, will do nothing, but he revealeth his secret unto his servants, the prophets. And that's why his brothers, beginning with Elder Tahar on down, that's what we do, man. We prophesy. We're the prophets. We're the apostles, man. And you brothers that's learning diligently in all sincerity and truth and power, man, you guys are the disciples, man. Told y'all to get back to it, man. I'm not gonna leave y'all hanging, man. I'm not playing no games, man. But there is a power in heaven. That power is Yahweh Yahweh Shai. Wah means and. Yahweh Wah or and Yahweh Shai. But there is a power in heaven that revealeth secrets and maketh known to the king Nebuchadnezzar what shall be in the latter days. Thy dream and the visions of thy head upon thy bed are these. Like, this is what your dream was, man. And this is for the end times. And we're in those right now. Smack dab, man. Smack dab. All right? We're smack dab in the end times, man. Like a hot Cheeto in a fat chick's shirt, man. Salaki is in some water. Hydration. 29. As for thee, O king, thy thoughts came into thy mind upon thy bed, what should come to pass hereafter. And he that revealeth secrets maketh known to thee what shall come to pass. So he's a heathen. King Nebuchadnezzar is a heathen, a Chaldean, Babylonian heathen, right? But he was even given visions and dreams. So heathens can get visions and dreams, man. All right, but the interpretation thereof, the secrets, that's given to the Yasharalim, man, the Hebrew Israelites, brother. But as for me, this secret is not revealed to me for any wisdom that I have more than any living. He's like, I'm not better than nobody. Because it's Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai that gives the increase, man. We're just vessels. That's why we give all glory and power to the Most High, man. We can't eat that. It's not ours, man. Does the microphone do the rapping or does Eminem do the rapping? All right? So the microphone can't get the glory. No one says, man, that mic was amazing tonight. Did you see that microphone? We're just microphones, man. That was actually a tight analogy. Thwadi Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, man. For any wisdom that I have more than any living, but for their sake that shall make known the interpretation to the king, and that thou mightest know the thoughts of thy heart, the mind, the lab is heart, which is your mind, your spirit, man, your rakah. 31. Thou, O king, sawest and behold a great image, right? Image. These are kingdoms. All right, the image is kingdoms, just like the image of the beast kingdom. Empires. This great image or empire, kingdom, queendom, fuck them. This great image, whose brightness was excellent, stood before thee, and the form thereof was terrible, very mighty, very powerful, man. Very destructive, very wicked, man. This image's head was of fine gold. His breast, let me get that. I gotta chop this all down and break it down, man. Precept line upon line, here a little, there a little, man. You already know what it is, man. Psalms 28 and 10 teaches us how to interpret and break down and teach these scriptures. And then if you want to go into that even further, then that's gonna be Psalms chapter 119, baby. This image's head was of fine gold. This is Babylon. All right, this is Nebuchadnezzar's kingdom that he's in as we're reading this. His breast and his arms of silver, man. That's the Medo-Persian Empire. You know, the so-called Iran, so-called Russia. Russia. His belly and his thighs of brass. That's gonna be Greece. All right, that's gonna be Greece, the greasy ones, and that's Esau, Edom. All right, they wiped out the Yapathites, and they keep the women, and then they keep the name because of the women, so that they can hide their identity, man. All right, and that's what Ezekiel 38 confuses people as. Russia's not Yapeth, man. Those Russians, Gog Magog, those are Edomites. It's rats. His belly and his thighs of brass. All right, Greece. Verse 33. And Greece is, and in this final time, each thing has been sandwiched on to perfect this wicked empire we have today of America, Babylon the Great. All right. His legs of iron. Okay. 2 legs. The first Roman Empire, and then the revived Roman Empire. All right. And we're at the feet now, the end of the revived Roman Empire. His feet part of iron and part of clay. This is a twofold prophecy right here. All right. The main interpretation of this, all right, is going to be during the final parts of the empire of the Roman Empire. America is headed up as the resurrection of the revived Roman Empire with all its power and might. And it's iron, man. What, you know, bombs and missiles and bullets. These things are primarily made of iron and other alloys, man. And that's the sword that Esau was blessed with. All right, and all the other kingdoms above it, they took the best things from it to make it the most terrible. All right, and part of clay means that it has dominion over the whole world. All right, and we read that Psalms 83. And that really applies to United Nations. And so, you know, it's a get down or lay down type of system. So that they're strong, but they're weak. All right. And it's like a bully. Everybody likes the bully because they're scared of him. But then when there's someone else that can beat up the bully, people will leave the old bully because they've been bullied, and they'll run to the new bully. All right. So part of iron, part of clay, man. The NATO, which is America's military fortress, all right, and primary combat theater, and then it's teamed up with the United Nations, and then from there all the other nations fall under it. So it's strong and weak at the same time, because clay is very weak, and iron is very strong. And when you put them together, you have strong in certain areas, weak in certain areas. And we can see that this place is strong in certain areas and very weak in certain areas. And militarily, man, you know, the Allies, they have a lot of disagreements. They have different, the people that are in NATO and in the EU, they all have opposing allies and enemies. And it's weakening their unity as we are in the second phase of World War III. The first phase of any war is going to be Cold War, PSYOP, psychological operations. All right. 34. Thou sawest till that a stone, what is that stone? That's Yahweh Shai, man. Yahweh Shai coming, man, to destroy this world. That a stone was cut out without hands, okay, which smote the image upon his feet that were of iron and clay. So they destroyed the Edomites' kingdom, man, and break them in pieces. And another name for that iron and clay is a New World Order. So I'm gonna get back to this Daniel 34, but what we're gonna do now for this direct precept, this is 2nd Esdras chapter 13, verse 1. Salakia. And it came to pass after 7 days I dreamed a dream by night. And lo, there arose a wind from the sea, that it moved all the waves thereof. And I beheld, and lo, that man waxed strong with thousands of heaven. That man is Yahweh, our Hamashiach, the king, the Malak Shah Malakia, man, the king of kings. That man waxed strong with the thousands of heaven. And when he turned his countenance to look, all things trembled that were seen under him. And whensoever the voice went out of his mouth, they all burned that heard his voice, like as the earth filleth when it filleth the fire. All right, so that's nuclear, thermonuclear destruction and chariot destruction with the laser beams. And that's what the bow symbolizes in the rainbow. That's talking about the laser beams. And after this I beheld, and lo, there were gathered together a multitude of men out of number from the four winds of the heaven. All right, so this is all the troops. All right, all the troops of the world. All right, this is Armageddon. Then they're going to try to fight Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai, man, and the angels, and the 144,000. So these people are all gathered together. This is that extraterrestrial UFO threat that they're trying to get everybody brainwashed to join the wicked side of it. All the movies and stuff, they try to make the invaders the bad guys or the good guys. All right, Black Adam, Thanos, all right, the Avengers, all that type of stuff, man. To subdue the man that came out of the sea. But I beheld, and lo, he had graved himself a great mountain. That's a massive fathership. And we seen that viral footage, man, of those chariots that NASA cut down. Cut down the feed, man. Salakia, they cut down the feed because these chariots are probably bigger than the planet, man, some of them. Fatherships. And this chariot is so big, he calls it a mountain. And it's like a mountain, but you can't tell where it came from. But I beheld, and lo, he had graved himself a great mountain and flew up upon it. But I would have seen the region or place whereout the hill was graven, and I could not. He couldn't tell where this chariot came from, man. And after this, I beheld, and lo, all they which were gathered together to subdue him, the armies of the heathens of the world, and the 2/3 that joined in these militaries, that took these juicy fruits and took these grain of rice motives, right? Gathered together to subdue him, were sore afraid and yet durst fight, man. These wicked fucks, scared as shit, try to fight the Most High and his Son, our Redeemer, and the angels in the 144,000 anyway. And I pray that our sincere brothers are of that number, man. So he put in his work, man, through real faith, man, and knowing this is real. And lo, as he saw the violence of the multitude that came, he neither lifted up his hand, nor held sword, nor any instrument of war. All right. But only I saw that he sent out of his mouth as it had been a blast of fire, and his lips a flaming breath, and out of his tongue he cast out sparks and tempests, man. That's talking about the laser beams. All right. And him sending 144,000 to snatch niggas out the frame. All right. So this is that stone of Daniel. And they were all mixed together. The blast of fire, the nukes, the flaming breath, the laser beams, and the great tempest, and fell with violence. And remember, it talks about the 144,000 are able to make fire come out of their mouths too, man, and cause plagues and all types of stuff, man. Superpowers, man. And the great tempest, and fell with violence upon the multitude which was prepared to fight, and burned them up, everyone. Burned them up, everyone. What happened? Everyone got burned up. So that upon a sudden of an innumerable multitude, nothing was to be perceived. You know that Thanos thing where he did the Thanos snap and everybody got blown to dust? They got that from this passage right here that we're reading, man. This oracle. But only dust and smell. The smell of it. but only dust and smell of smoke. When I saw this, I was afraid. Woo! Woo! Then did I consider, this is at Second Edge 6, Salakia. Second Edge is some cited, man. Second Edge 6 and 9. For Esau is the end of the world. Woo! Ha ha! That's what we're reading right now. Precept heavy, man. For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob, we're Jacob, man, the Hebrew Israelites, man. And Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. You understand that, man? You understand that? Do you understand what I'm reading to you guys, man? This ain't entertainment, man. I was going somewhere next. Just bear with me for a second. Okay, yeah. This is my favorite, one of my favorite scriptures, man. I'ma wear it out. Psalms 2 and 8. Ask of me, and I shall give thee the heathen for thine inheritance, and the uttermost parts of the earth for thy possession. Thou shalt break them with the rod of iron. Thou shalt dash them in pieces like a potter's vessel, brother. That's power, man. And these devils know what's coming, and they're definitely afraid of us, man. And they're even more afraid of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, and they know they can't do shit about it, so they just want to ruin it for everybody else. But you know what? Good. It's a part of prophecy, bitch. Fuck you, motherfucking Edomites, man. I wish death upon all you damn employees of YouTube, man. For harassing our videos, man. All right, so once again, we're back at Daniel 2:35. Then was the iron, the clay, the brass, the silver, the gold broken in pieces. That's all these nations. All right, that's all these kingdoms, all these heathens, all this world. Broken in pieces together and became like the chaff of the summer threshing floors. Like they're just blown with the wind, man. Like you know, like when you go to a barnyard, all the remnants of the hay, when the wind blows in, it just blows them hoe ass niggas away, man. And the wind carried them away that no place was found for them. You know where you can find them at? In chains. Getting tortured and beat and forced to do all types of manual labor, man. And their women to be our concubines if they look good. The ugly ones, throw them bitches out there in the field too, man. You know? I might have a damn heathen per toe, washing each toe. And the stone that smote the image became a great mountain. That's a great kingdom, man. Yahweh Shai finally received his kingdom, man, after everything he's been through, man. After everything we've been through, man. You know, we'll be redeemed, man. Our stony heart will be made a flesh heart, man. We'll be perfected. We'll never be able to go off again. That means we'll never have to be punished again. That means we'll never lose dominion ever. We're the gods, man. Of course, under Yahweh by Yahweh Shai. And the stone that smote the image became a great mountain and filled the whole earth. This is the dream, and we will tell the interpretation thereof before the king. Thou, O king, art the king of kings, for the power of heaven hath given thee a kingdom of power and strength and glory. He's the gold. And wheresoever the children of men dwell, the beasts of the field and the fowls of the heavens hath he given into thine hand, and hath made thee ruler over them all. Thou art this head of gold. And after thee shall arise another kingdom inferior to thee. All right. And that's talking about Medo-Persia. And another third kingdom of brass. This is Greece, which shall bear rule over all the earth. All right. This is under Alexander the Great, man. He conquered the earth, man, the known world, except for the Americas. That's what Rome did. Rome conquered the Americas. And the fourth kingdom is Rome. And the fourth kingdom shall be strong as iron. And they took a lot of the iron from Greece, from the idols. They destroyed the idols and they made a lot of shields and weapons from it. Because Greece is real decadent, man. Greece was a flex heavy nation, man, and kingdom. And the fourth kingdom shall be strong as iron, for as much as iron breaketh in pieces and subdueth all things. Now remember, man, Greece, they gave us, the Crispus, Serapis bullshit, right? The pothead, false Edomite god. And then Rome, during the Renaissance period, the revived Roman Empire, they one-upped it, man, and they made that in the image of Cesare Borgia's fruitcake ass, man. For as much as iron breaketh in pieces to do with all things, and as iron that breaketh all things shall it break in pieces and bruise. And that's what the Edomites did, man. They fucked shit up, man. They be given the blessing of the sword. And whereas thou sawest the feet and toes, part of potter's clay and part of iron, the kingdom shall be divided, but there shall be in it of the strength of the iron, for as much as thou sawest the iron mixed with miry clay. That means it's a very brittle kingdom. Once these other nations stepped up with their military might and started investing in their military might, we already see, man, America's soft as a hostess cake, man. And they gotta operate under lies and deception because they're fucking done. And as the toes of the feet were part of the iron and part of the clay, so the kingdom shall be partly strong and partly broken. That's the United Nations, specifically dealing with, all of them are in the United Nations, but Salakia, this is talking about NATO, which is headed up by United States, North American Trade, all right, organizations or whatever, and then the European Union, all right? They're partly strong, partly broken because they have conflicting allies and enemies and interests. And whereas thou sawest iron mixed with miry clay, they shall mingle themselves with the seed of men. All right, so from there, man, so that new world order, that NATO and EU, who controls the whole world, they start gathering in hundreds of other nations under that because you can't beat them, join them type of thing. Get in with the getting is good. This is why Revelation chapter 18 takes place. But they shall not cleave to one another, even as iron is not mixed with clay. And in the days of these kings shall the power of heaven, Yahweh shall set up a kingdom which shall never be destroyed, and the kingdom shall not be left to other people. They're all going to be slaves forever and pay tribute. But it shall break in pieces and consume all these kingdoms, and it shall stand forever. For as much as thou sawest that the stone was cut out of the mountain without hands, maybe, hey, man, there's no maybe about it, man. That's a direct precept, man, with second edges, what we just read, man. The mountain. All right, and that mountain is the kingdom of Israel, man. That's under the rule of Yahweh Shai and 144,000 elect governors. Was cut out of the mountain without hands, and that it break in pieces the iron, the brass, the clay, and the silver, and the gold. The great power hath made known to the king what shall come to pass hereafter. And the dream is certain, and the interpretation thereof is sure, man. Just like Habakkuk chapter 2 says, man. Just like Habakkuk chapter 2 says. All right, so from there, let's go to Revelation 9 and 12. Oops. Damn. One woe was past, World War I. Revelation 9 through 11 is about World War I. And then this is the nexus point where that's all it mentions right here is about World War II. There come two woes more hereafter. So that's World War II mentioned, and then the rest is about World War III. And the sixth angel sounded, and I heard a voice from the four horns of the golden altar, which is before Allahayam, Yahweh Shai, saying to the sixth angel which had the trumpet, loose the four angels which are bound in the great river Euphrates, the Middle East. North African regions. And the 4 angels were loosed, which were prepared for an hour, and a day, and a month, and a year, for to slay a third part of men, my friend. All right, the Edomites are going to be destroyed. They're the third part of men. Who's the first part of men? The sons of God. Second part's men are the sons of man, which are the heathens. And the third part of men is the wicked, the sons of the wicked, the Edomites. And the number of the army of the horsemen were 200,000, man. That's 200 million. And that horseman is code speak for nukes. And I heard the number of them. And thus I saw the horses in a vision, and them that sat on them having breastplates of fire. And I just sent them brimstone, and the heads of the horses were as the heads of lions, the warhead. It's describing the glistening and the rocket propulsion systems, etc. And out of their mouths issued fire, smoke, and brimstone, nuclear fire and destruction. By these was the third part of men killed by the fire, and by the smoke, and by the brimstone, which issued out of their mouths. Kahalalium Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, man. Abad Babal. Abad Adawam Yam. Alright. Revelations 18:3. For all nations have drunk of the wine of wrath of her fornication, all the wickedness and debauchery, man, the left-handed shit. The Western way. And it really maximizes when you get into the alphabet community, when you get into the chips and the salsa. And you know what the chips and salsa are? Man, 'cause if I said it, and I get a strike, and the channel's done forever. For all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her, and the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through her abundance of her delicacies. And I heard another voice from heaven saying, come out of her, my people. That's the Ezekiel 37, the rising of the dry bones, the dead coming back to life. That ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plagues, for her sins have reached unto heaven, and Allah Hayam hath remembered her iniquities. Reward her even as she rewarded you, and double unto her double according to her works. So she did all this destruction, so everybody's going to destroy this whore, man. In the cup which she hath filled, fill her double. So yeah, that's why they're going into 1,000 years of captivity, man. Here's the point, Revelations 18:8. Therefore shall her plagues, these nukes, come in one day, death and mourning and famine, 200 million. And she shall be utterly burned with fire. Doesn't that sound amazing? For strong is Yahweh our power who judgeth her. Yeah, fuck that stinky fish-smelling bitch. Fuck that fishy bitch. And see here, this is talking now is going through all this right here. All right, this is all talking about that stock market, man. The whole world's crashed, but that's not the point. Here's the point, Revelations 18:17. For in 1 hour so great riches has come to night, and every shipmaster and all the company and ships and sailors and as many as trade by sea stood afar off and cried when they saw the smoke of her burning, saying, what city is like unto this great city? And they cast dust on their heads and cried, weeping and wailing, saying, alas, alas, the great city, which is America, Babylon the Great, wherein were made rich all that had ships in the sea by the reason of her costliness. That's NATO, the North American trade agreements. For in 1 hour is she made desolate. See that in 1 hour, man. So after all this wickedness, this bitch is gonna fall in 1 hour, man. So how weak is that? You had all this strength just to fall in 1 hour, right? That's some hoe shit. Oh man, call out Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, right? I'm almost done, man. This is a full lesson right here. All right, so now I'm gonna go to Hebrew. I'm almost done, man. We got a couple more precepts left. It's a full lesson right here, man. Here we are. We're gonna go to Hebrews 10 and 31. It is a fearful thing to fall into the hands of the living power. Yahweh Yahweh Shai, man. It is a fearful thing, right? You don't want to be his enemy, man. The 2/3 and these heathens and Esau, which is also the chief heathen, they're his enemy, man. So now we're gonna go to Hebrews 12 and 29. For our power, Yahweh Yahweh Shai, is a consuming fire. You understand that? He's a consuming fire, man. So what do you think's gonna be controlling these nukes? These people don't have no control over nothing, man. Yahweh Shai is and through Yahweh is manipulating all these things. Yahweh and Yahweh Shai are controlling this whole thing like a video game, man. You ever play Call of Duty with your bro or your homie? We get Deuteronomy 4 and 24. For the Lord Yahweh Yahweh Shai, our power is a consuming fire, even a jealous power. So we give him all praises, man. All right, halal wa yah, not hallelujah. Halal wa yah. Deuteronomy 9 and 3. Understand therefore this day that the Lord thy power, Yahweh Yahweh Shai, is he which goeth over before thee as a consuming fire. He shall destroy them, and he shall bring them down before thy face. So shalt thou drive them out and destroy them quickly, as the Lord Yahweh Yahweh Shai hath said unto thee, man. See how amazing that is, man? And people want to play the Most High like he's some buster, man. All right? But this is the last thing, man. I almost forgot. How about Shem Yashai, man? Because this is the final point, because we're dealing with Russia on the prowl. Ezekiel 38 and 1. And the word of Yahweh Yahweh Shai, the Lord, came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Gog, the land of Magog, Russia, the chief prince of Meshech and Tubal, and prophesy against him, and say, Thus saith the Lord our power, behold, I am against thee, O God. The Most High is against the Edomites, the chief prince of Meshech and Tubal, and I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws. How? Through all this foreign policy and criminality and BS that these Edomites do unto each other, man. And they all have this infinite thirst and quest for power, man. So now, Putin wants to bring back the old Soviet Union, but in a new version. He wants to head up and be the top Edomite on the block, and they want to team up with China, even though they're not completely loyal to each other. They're both just doing what they got to do to bring down the new world order. And the Most High set it up that way. And I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws, and I will bring thee forth, and all thine army, and horses and horsemen, and all them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company with bucklers and shields, all of them handling swords. All right. Persia, which is Iran, Ethiopia, which is the Hagarenes, Africa, and Libya, which is Africa. North Africa, East Africa with them. All of them with shield and helmet. Gomer, Turkey, and all his bands. And see, that's why the Salaki, fake it, run it back. That is why the fourth kingdom, that miry clay with the iron, is partly strong, partly weak, because one of their allies is Gomer, which is Turkey, man. And they're going to backstab them. And they're going to join Russia, man. And this is going to happen with a few nations. A few allies are going to leave America and join the other side, the BRICS nations. What are the BRICS nations? Brazil, Russia, Iran, China, South Africa. Gomer and all his bands, the house of Tagarma, and the north quarters, and all his bands, and many people with thee, man. So all the Caucasian regions. Be thou prepared, and prepare for thyself, thou and all thy company that are assembled unto thee, and be thou a guard unto them. And after many days thou shalt be visited. In the latter years thou shalt come into the land that is brought back from the sword, which is the land of Israel, our homeland, because they stole it and they brought it back. And it's gathered out of many people. All these damn Edomites, foreigners, moved to our place, man, against the mountains of Israel, which have been always laid waste. The mountains of Israel are the real Hebrew Israelites. We're laid waste right now, man. But it is brought forth out of the nations, and they shall dwell safely, all of them. Thou shalt ascend and come like a storm. Thou shalt be like a cloud to cover the land, thou and all thy bands, and many people with thee. World war, man. They're going to destroy the house of Amalek, man. That's in our lands right now. The Jewish. Thus says Yahweh our power. It shall also come to pass that at the same time shall things come into thy mind, and thou shalt think an evil thought. And thou shalt say, I will go up to the land of unwalled villages. That's America, Mystery Babylon. And I will go to them that are at rest, that dwell safely, all of them dwelling without walls and having neither bars nor gates. And that's the reason why Trump wanted to build the walls, to try to get out of this prophecy. But it's too late. That's your ass, Mr. Postman. Wrapping it up. That's your flat ass, bitch. Oh, Salakia. Hebrews 12:15, looking diligent lest any man fail of the grace of our power, lest any root of bitterness springing up trouble you, and thereby many be defiled, lest there be any fornicator or profane person, as Esau the Edomite, the self-proclaimed white man. White ain't right. Who for one morsel of meat sold his birthright, for we know that afterwards, when he would have inherited the blessing, he was rejected, for he found no place of repentance, though he sought it carefully with tears. Hey, man, there's no heaven, man, for these people, man. They're going into captivity, which is hell. And then they're being utterly destroyed at the end of the 1,000 years. And then all the other nations will learn by the example that the Most High spares. And then they'll be set back up, and they'll be able to have their lands, but the whole world would be subject to Yahweh, Yahweh Shai, and the 144,000 will have to pay tribute to us, man. But they'll be regular, mortal human beings. We'll be gods among these fucking dogs. You get that? Know what a god is? You ever heard of that word? It's not that fruitcake hanging up in a wall of some church, man. Psalms 82:6. I have said, ye are gods, and all of you are children of the Most High, but you shall die like men and fall like one of the princes. All right, so that's our judgment right now. But we're being set back up, man, in rightful order, man. That's balance, retribution. All right. Wrapping up right here. As it is written, Jacob or Jacob, the Hebrew Israelites, have I loved, but Esau have I hated. What shall we say then? Is there unrighteousness with Allahayam, Yahweh, Yahweh Shai? Come on, man. What shall we say then? Is there unrighteousness? I'm saying it as it is. What shall we say then? Is there unrighteousness with God? God forbid. And here's the very last one. Malachi 1 and 2. I have loved you, saith the Lord, yet ye say, wherein hast thou loved us? We've been going through so much judgments and getting our asses spanked. You know, we don't feel like the Most High loves us, but he does. This is almost over with, man. Was not, the Most High chasteneth his son, man. If he doesn't chasten you, man, then you're a bastard. That's why he's never punished the heathen, because they're bastards. But their punishment's going to be forever. Yet ye say, wherein hast thou loved us? Was not Esau Jacob's brother? Saith the Lord, yet I loved Jacob, and I hated Esau, and laid his mountains and his heritage waste for the dragons of the wilderness, man. That means they're going to be utterly nuked, and then America, man, it's just going to be a wildlife reserve, man, and a damn museum of destruction. All right. Whereas Edom saith, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places, right? Make America great again. Thus says the Lord Yahweh, Yahushai of hosts, they shall build, but I will throw down, and they shall call them the border of wickedness, and the people against whom the Lord Yahweh, Yahushai hath indignation forever. Forever. Inside joke, man. But with that being said, I pray you guys was edified, man. Until next time, man. Shalom, 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 abad, babal, mawath, la adawam, yam.